Okay. And this is a pretty big whiff for us. 5-alarm fire is just not very good. Fire Fist Striker is pretty good, but I'm not really... First of all, I'm light on creatures. Second of all, I don't have a lot of aggressive type creatures. So its ability is not going to be great for me. Homing Lightning is great, but I'm just splashing red. I'm not going to be able to cast the double red very often. I don't really want to just have it sitting in my hand as a brick, even though it is very good. Again, Rampager, one of the better... Alright, sorry about that. My software died on me for a minute. In that pack, I ended up taking an Assault Griffin. I almost took a Boros Guildgate, but I was saying the Gore Clan Rampager is one of the better cards in Gruul, but again, we're not there, so it doesn't matter. Here I'm going to take another Basilica Screecher. I think it's a really strong Orzhov card. I got some nice Extort. Hopefully it'll keep me alive. Basilica Guards is good too, but... I like the Screecher. I like it better than Syndicate Enforcer. The 3-2 is pretty... I mean, you're not really attacking with it a lot because it's so fragile, so you're just using it for Extort anyway, so at least on a Basilica Screecher you have flying with your 1-2 and you can get in for damage if they don't have any way to deal with it. Holy Mantle, I like it. It's not as insane as it seems like it should be. Protection from creatures is obviously great. It's probably what I'm going to take here. I'm definitely heavy white, so double white shouldn't really be an issue. Again, I like Madcap skills, but I would play 2 of them, probably, even in this kind of a splash, but not over something that's on color that I can cast easily, or should be able to cast easily and make my guys really good. Death Cult Rogue I would definitely take. I think it's pretty good. I don't have any Cypher. It's really good if you're running some sort of, Cypher cards that are good. But I'm going to take the Holy Mantle. And there's a High Priest of Penance. I actually like him quite a bit. He's only a 1-1, but he holds the ground down, and it really makes it difficult for people to attack you. I mean, they can attack, and you just destroy their best permanent, basically. So either they don't play good guys, and you just take a couple damage and slow them down a lot, or they play good guys, and you drop a High Priest, and you get to kill their best guy. So either way, that's really good for 2 mana. It's on color. If it weren't for him, again, Din Robohor is supposed to be really good, although clearly we're not splashing blue. I'm just saying, it's a good card. It's a big body. If they don't have any cards in hand, you can basically, it's like a removal spell as well. Towering Thunderfist is fine. I'm not going to splash for it. I would take the Skyjack if not the High Priest, but High Priest is the pick for me. Okay. Let's see here. This is a Swiss, but I think Blind Obedience is worth like 80 cents. Let's check it out. If I can spell that correctly, and I did, hooray. Well, the guy's selling it for 2. What are they buying them for? A half a ticket. So, I mean, I like Blind Obedience, I like the Extort. There's not really a whole lot of haste creatures. I'm not that worried about haste creatures, and I think in my deck, just the Kingpin's Pet is just a better card. 2/2 Flying Extort. It's really kind of the quintessential good Orzhov card, not a sick bomb or anything, obviously, but it's just, you're never unhappy, you want to be playing this guy. So even though I like Blind Obedience and I kind of need them, I'm going to pick up the Kingpin's Pet here. I think it's just a better card for what we're trying to do. Okay, well, it looks like we're doing pretty okay here. I mean, we're going to cut a couple of these cards. We're not going to probably be running the Warmind Infantry. Hopefully not running the Nav Squad Commandos. My curve's really high at the moment. May or may not run the Debtor's Pulpit. I kind of want to give it a try again. I know it's pretty slow, and I still think it's pretty slow, but my deck is pretty slow. So after saying how fast this set is, my deck's pretty slow. Again, I'd like to pick up more fixing. It's getting pretty late. I probably should have picked up some of that fixing earlier. I almost first picked it, but I guess we'll see. Okay, now here's a lot of cards for us. Oh, buddy. I got 14 creatures. I mean, I would love to have this Kingpin's Pet. I don't need another Smite. I'd definitely be happy to run it, but +1/+1 flying lifelink. Not to mention that it's just a pretty card. Yeah, it's some pretty sweet art on this card. Yeah, it's a nice card. It is on color. I mean, the Guild Gate, again, I just was talking about trying to pick up fixing, and here I am not picking it up. Although it's on color fixing, which isn't nearly as important. I mean, it helps you run a mountain. But I'm going to take the Gift of Orzhova and give it a try. It's a good card. Alright, Croconura, again, I mean, you can see these cards aren't amazing. Croconura better than Warmind Infantry in my mind, but, you know, if you're running a Gruul deck, you get a Croconura here with 8 cards left in the pack. You're running pretty good. But, to be fair, this particular draft, I haven't seen quite as many crazy Gruul cards. I mean, you could be running quite a few Ember Beasts, which are beaters for sure, but, you know, I'm not crazy about the Denizen or the Ruffian. I'm going to take the guards here. Alright, again, if I were Gruul, I'd actually probably take the Disciple of the Old Ways, depending on how my deck was shaping up. This guy's good, he's 6'2". I mean, you have to evolve him, otherwise he just dies to anything because of his 2 power. Either way, I'm not going to run either of these cards. I can take a Beckon Apparition, which I guess is really only good if you're trying to surprise somebody or have some sort of... Yeah, I'm going to take the Disciple. I think that's the best card in the pack. I'm not going to play it, obviously, but... what I was talking, you know, Syndicate Enforcer would be fine. I think I'd rather just have the guards, though. Like I said, I mean, 3/2 is great if you can completely remove their board and swing with him, and that's fine. But otherwise, he's just going to be trading. It's nice to be able to trade, but I'd rather just have the 1/4 Defender Extort and keep my guy alive for a while. Again, this is a Swiss draft. I wanted to do a Swiss for my first recording, try to get some practice in on casting, if you will, and I will run some 8/4s probably in the near future. Gargoyle's fine. I have enough flyers. I'm just going to cut the Ivy Lane Denizen, and that guy's good. I mean, you're playing Gruul or Simic. Ivy Lane Denizen, he's very good. He seems slow. He's 4 mana, 2/2, but any green creature you play, you just permanently put a +1/+1 counter on, and that is a good thing. He's won me lots of games. I have no problem playing several Ivy Lane Denizens, not playing any of these cards. So, there you have it. Obviously, I'm not playing 28 cards. So we got some cuts we can make, which is fine. So like I said, I don't really want to play. We're going to run this, of course. Not running this. I'm going to go ahead and put in the cards I probably want to play. I'm going to put the Madcap in the maybe pile right now. I mean, I am going to run for sure this guy. So if you're going to run one, I mean, what's the second, right? Either way, I'm going to have to get a mountain. Obviously, this guy's much better if you're running Boros because of the +1/+0 ability for mountain. But either way, he's a 4/4 that's very difficult to kill, and he comes in and fireballs for... It's not really fireballs, but he'll deal damage equal to the number of creatures you have, which in this deck may not be that many, but let's see what happens here. Another card I probably will play. Probably won't play either of these Nav Squad Commandos. Skirmisher I'm definitely playing. Okay. Definitely playing the Screechers and the Grizzly Spectacle. I did a live draft and had about 4 of these, and they're very good. But, you know, I think that's not a big secret, and it's pretty hard to get lots of them. Happy to have the one. I mean, my removal's not bad. I have a couple Smites, an Executioner Swing, which I'm probably going to play, even though it's not that great, and Orzhov Charm. That's 4 removal spells, 5 and an Arrow of Justice. Gift of Orzhova is not removal, but it's good, especially if clearing some way for your guys. Grizzly Spectacle, and an Angelic Edict. I'm not going to count the Foundry Champion as a removal, but he usually is. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 removal spells. I mean, that's a lot of removal, which I kind of need since my deck is going to be slow and rely on Extorts and some sort of bomb hitting the board. Maybe Assault Griffins getting in there. I mean, I can clear the way with them and Holy Mantle, or something on, Gifts of Orzhova. It's not perfect by any means, but I'm not crazy about the Cartel Aristocrat. It gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. That's cool, but I'm not going to be trying to sacrifice any of these creatures. I don't have, the guy that when he dies you put him back in your hand over and over again, a Mortis Strider. Not that I ever want to really run Mortis Strider anyway, but I mean, if you can use that with Cartel Aristocrat and have some sort of combo, I suppose. But since my deck is really black-white, I'm hoping this will probably come back and bite me, but I'd rather play it and have the ability in case I need it. Maybe I sacrifice a guy and get him through unblockable to win a game or something, over just a 2/2 2-mana, which doesn't require the white but has no ability. So I'm going to play it. I could cut an Executioner Swing, try to get another creature in there. I could cut the Executioner Swing for a Gutter Skulk. And then on my 23rd card, let's see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm not going to run that. I'm not worried about any of those things. I'm not running a Dying Wish either. Once again, I'm not crazy about Nav Squad Commando, especially in this deck where I'm not going to be battalioning. He's just a 3/5 for 5. I'm not excited about that. I'm going to keep Aerial Maneuver for a sideboard. I already have flyers, lots of flyers. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flyers. It's not a ton, but 6 flyers is not bad, especially in this format. There's not a ton of flyers. So I got 6 flyers. Basically, I'd just be wanting it for the first strike. None of my ground guys are super powerful, and I may actually have trouble matching up because my deck has a lot of creatures that aren't very powerful. But we'll see. I have a ton of Extort. Not that guy, but 1, 2, 3 Extort, 4, 5, 6, 7 Extort guys. So that's a lot. That's a pretty good amount of Extort guys in my opinion. Let's see how we're doing on color here. At this point, I can run in the Madcap, which I think is probably the best card I have. Maybe because I'm not aggressive, the Debtor's Pulpit. But the thing is, if I put a Madcap skills on an Assault Griffin, and they don't have a removal for it, you're swinging for 6 in the air, and they have to have 2 flyers to try to block it. Plus, I just have a ton of removal. So I think I'm going to run... I'm already running a red for this. Maybe it'd be better just to not do that and run the Gutter Skulk and the Debtor's Pulpit and not play red at all. But what's the fun in that? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to run the Madcap with this as it is. The problem, of course, is it won't hit until late or in the game, most likely, because I'm not going to be running a lot of mountains. In fact, I'm probably going to run like 3 of them. So if normally, ideally, you want to 1-drop into Madcap, 2-drop into a 3rd turn Madcap, something like that, or something silly like Disciple of the Old Ways, Madcap, or the 2-mana uncommon that adds red-green when you cast it, and then you put Madcap right on it. So in turn 2, you have a 2/2 Madcap skills guy, ready to swing on turn 3. It's an aggressive card for sure, but I think that in this deck, with the removal I have And again, I don't know about Executioner Swing. I have enough removal. I probably should run a Debtor's Pulpit or Gutter Skulk, but I don't. I'm already running quite a few 4-drops, a couple 5-drops, and 2 6-drops. I don't really want something this low. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. Add the Guild Gate. See what they suggest for me here. 952. In fact, that's probably pretty close to what I'm going to do. As I said, I'd probably run 3 mountains. I mean, 2 and a Guild Gate is probably what I want to be, especially Foundry Champion. I'm not going to cast this guy before turn 6 ever. So that's not bad. I mean, another thing is I have so much Extort. I could run 18 lands. That's a possibility as well. But I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, well, I'm pretty heavy white, but I'm going to run 8-6 anyway because I don't want to run 5 of my main color. So we're going to run 17 lands, even though 18 might be good with my curve. And we're going to see what happens. Hopefully we can get something like this down and win. That's the plan. So I will see you in round 1.